let's not stop. We can make it to the top. Melangkah dengan gagah menuju medan wira, semangat yakinkan menyela. Oh, bersama mencapai cita-cita, usaha dan berjaya demi nama Malaysia. Keep it up and don't give up. We're the best, so let's not stop. We can make it to the top. Gagah melangkah menggapai cita, tabah menghadapi cabaran. Bersatu teguh, bercerai roboh, bersama capai kejayaan. Oh, jiwa membara, takkan pudar semangat wira. Genggam semangat juara, bersama mengarungi teguh berdiri, segala cabaran menanti. Bersama mencapai cita-cita, usaha dan berjaya demi nama Malaysia. Keep it up and don't give up. We're the best, so let's not stop. We can make it to the top. Gagah melangkah menggapai cita, tabah menghadapi cabaran. Bersatu teguh, bercerai roboh, bersama capai kejayaan. Oh, jiwa membara, takkan pudar semangat wira. Genggam semangat juara. Semua ini pastikan terbukti, susah dan senang kita harungi, bersatu hati menggapai mimpi. Gagah melangkah menggapai cita, tabah menghadapi cabaran. Bersatu teguh, bercerai roboh, bersama capai kejayaan. Oh, jiwa membara, takkan pudar semangat wira. Genggam semangat juara, bersama mengarungi teguh berdiri, segala cabaran menanti. Semua yang terbukti, terus kita kejar mimpi.
Assalamualaikum dan selamat sejahtera. Majlis mengalu-alukan kehadiran tuan-tuan dan puan-puan ke Majlis Undergraduate Colloquium on Health Sciences kali yang ke-18. Anjuran mahasiswa dan mahasiswi Ijazah Sarjana Muda Sains Bioperubatan bagi Fakulti Sains Kesihatan Universiti Selangor.
Assalamualaikum and warm greetings. The committee warmly welcomes everyone to the ceremony of the 18th Undergraduate Colloquium on Health Sciences organized by the Bachelor of Biomedical Science students, Faculty of Health Sciences, Universiti Selangor.
Sebelum kita memulakan sesi, kami ingin memohon semua peserta untuk meletakkan telefon bimbit dalam mood senyap atau menutupnya bagi memastikan kelancaran dan kelangsungan majlis tanpa gangguan. Terima kasih atas kerjasama anda.
Before we begin, we kindly ask all participants to switch their mobile phones to silent mode or turn them off to ensure a smooth and uninterrupted session. Thank you for your cooperation.
Majlis dengan sukacitanya mengumumkan kehadiran yang berbahagia TS Muhammad Jamia Kadir Muhammad Badrin, Timbalan Dekan Akademik bagi Fakulti Sains Kesihatan Universiti Selangor.
The event is pleased to announce the presence of Yang Berbahagia, Technologist Muhammad Jamia Kadir Muhammad Badrin, Deputy Dean of Academy for the Faculty of Health Sciences, Universiti Selangor.
Dengan penuh hormat kehadiran para tetamu jemputan yang lain, Dr. Ahmad Nur Asidi Muhammad Rafi, Timbalan Dekan Pembangunan Pelajar dan Sumber, serta Profesor Madya Dr. Megala Nalapan Maniam, Penasihat Program UCHS yang ke-18.
With great respect, the presence of other invited guests, Dr. Ahmad Norasidi Muhammad Rafi, Deputy Dean of Student Development and Resources, and also Associate Professor Dr. Megala Nalapan Maniam, 18th UCHS Program Advisor.
Seterusnya, majlis dengan sukacitanya mengumumkan kehadiran penceramah kehormat kita pada hari ini iaitu Profesor Madya Dr. Wee Seng Kyu dari Universiti Malaysia Kelantan.
Next, the event is pleased to introduce our distinguished speaker for today, Associate Professor Dr. Wee Seng Kyu from Universiti Malaysia Kelantan. The event also extends a warm welcome to the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen.
Biji selasih boleh dimakan, menjadi perisa sedap terperi. Selamat datang kami ucapkan, semoga majlis tambah berseri. Majlis akan dimulakan dengan nyanyian lagu Negaraku dan lagu Negeri Selangor.
The ceremony will begin with the singing of the national anthem Negaraku and the state anthem of Selangor.
Bagi memberkati majlis pada pagi ini, dijemput saudara Muhammad Hafiz bin Muhammad Khalid untuk memimpin bacaan doa.
To bless this morning's ceremony, we invite Mr. Muhammad Hafiz bin Muhammad Khalid to lead the recitation of prayers.
Dipersilakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Hamdan ya fi ni'mahu ya kafil mazida. Ya Rabbana lakal hamdul kama yanbaghi li jalal wajhika lakarim azim. Sultani. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain. Allahumma ya mujibal sa'ilin. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, yang maha pemurah lagi maha penyayang, kami sekalian hamba-Mu berhimpun di hari Jumaat mulia ini, sempena pembukaan Majlis Undergraduate Colloquium on Health Science kali ke-18. Memohon rahmat dan hidayah-Mu. Semoga diberikan cahaya petunjuk kepada hati kami. Engkau perkukuhkan perpaduan kami. Engkau berkatilah usaha kami dalam mencana pembangunan dan kemajuan institusi kami ke arah yang lebih cemerlang, gemilang dan terbilang. Allahumma ya Azizu ya Qahar, ya Allah ya Tuhan kami yang memiliki segala kekuasaan dan kemuliaan. Kurniakanlah taufik dan hidayah-Mu sebagai panduan, restuilah perancangan, perbahasan serta pertimbangan seluruh mahasiswa dan mahasiswi. Bimbinglah kami dengan sinaran petunjuk-Mu yang berterusan. Pimpinlah kami sekalian ke jalan yang benar dan lurus. Hindarkanlah kami sekalian dari segala malapetaka, sifat-sifat keji, hasad, dengki, boros, iri hati dan perselisihan yang boleh membawa perpecahan dan kebinasaan. Anugerahkanlah kami kekuatan dan keupayaan untuk merangka strategi yang berkesan bagi mencapai kecemerlangan dan kesejahteraan yang kami harap dan cita-citakan. Allahumma ya wali ya salam, kami memohon limpah rahmat, taufik dan hidayah-Mu kepada ibu bapa kami dan guru-guru kami yang tercinta ini. Mantapkanlah semangat dan keazaman mereka dengan penuh kesabaran dan bertawakal kepadamu dalam memikul tanggungjawab memajukan negara, agama dan bangsa yang disanjung tinggi dan disegani di bawah riayah dan naungan-Mu. Rabbana zalamna anfusana wa in lam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna minal khasirin. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhiratil hasanah wa qina azabannar. Wassallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Thank you for the
Amin. Ya Rabbal Alamin. Majlis mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih atas bacaan doa itu tadi.
prayer recitation.
Bunga cempaka mekar berseri, harum baunya di waktu pagi. Assalamualaikum, kami beri sebagai pembuka bicara ini. Saya Nona Jo Amira Muhammad Azmi
And I, Nazihah Japirin,
sebagai pengacara majlis bagi UCHS kali ke-18. Alhamdulillah, syukur kehadrat ilahi atas limpah kurnianya, kita dapat bersama-sama dalam Majlis Undergraduate Colloquium on Health Sciences kali ke-18 bagi tahun 2025 dengan tema Healthy Lives, Madani Tribes, Advancing SDG 3 for Malaysia Future.
we are grateful to be able to gather for the ceremony of the 18th Undergraduate Colloquium on Health Sciences for the year 2025 with the theme Healthy Lives, Madani Tribes, Advancing SDG 3 for Malaysia's Future.
Tetamu kehormat, para peserta, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sekalian. Seterusnya, dengan segala hormatnya, majlis menjemput Saudari Azilah binti Palah, pengarah program UCHS ke-18 untuk menyampaikan ucapan.
Distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, next, it is with great honor that we invite Mrs. Azilah binti Palah, the Program Director of the 18 UCHS, to deliver her speech. Please welcome.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. I welcome you to the 18th Undergraduate Colloquium on the Health Sciences UCHS 2025. All praise is due to Allah for the successful executions of this event. I also extend my sincere appreciation to Associate Professor Dr. Megala, who played the crucial role of program advisor together with Dr. Nasib, Mr. Aiman Afif, and all esteemed colleagues who contribute significantly to the success of this program. Your unwavering support has truly made this event a reality. This colloquium serves as a platform for final year students to present their research findings, share experience, and enhance their scientific communication skill. Held twice a year as a part of scientific communication subject, the UCHS helps students to develop critical thinking, information literacy, and research presentation skill. With a team of 18 UCHS, Healthy Life Madani Tribe, advancing SDG 3 for the Malaysia future, we are reminded of the critical role health play in create a thriving, inclusive, and sustainable Malaysia. This team encapsulates our shared mission to ensure well-being for all, aligning with Sustainable Development Goal 3 principles and the vision of a compassionate and progressive Malaysia Madani. To our participant, sponsor, and organizer, thank you for your dedications and contributions. Your effort had made this event possible, and I hope this colloquium spark new ideas, meaningful discussions, and lasting connections that will shape the future of the health science. Enjoy this 18 UCHS 2025, and let's take this opportunity to learn, connect, and inspire one another. Thank you.
Majlis mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih atas ucapan yang telah disampaikan oleh pengarah program tadi. Hadirin dan hadirat yang dihormati sekalian, seterusnya dengan penuh sukacita, majlis menjemput Yang Berbahagia TS Muhammad Jamia Kadir Muhammad Badrin, Timbalan Dekan Akademik bagi Fakulti Sains Kesihatan Universiti Selangor untuk menyampaikan ucapan sekaligus merasmikan Majlis Undergraduate Colloquium on Health Sciences kali ke-18. Ucapan perasmian ini akan diikuti dengan tayangan multimedia.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, next, it is with great pleasure that we invite Yang Berbahagia, Technologist Muhammad Jamia Kadir Muhammad Badrin, Deputy Dean of Academy for the Faculty of Health Sciences, University Selangor, to deliver his speech and officially launch the 18th Undergraduate Colloquium on Health Sciences. The officiating speech will be followed by a multimedia presentation. With utmost respect, we invite you to take the virtual floor.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all. Deputy Dean of Student Development and Resources, Dr. Ahmad Nurasidi Muhammad Rafi, UCHS Program Advisor, Associate Professor Dr. Megala Nalapan Maniam, Program Director Azilah Palah, our Honorable Speaker today, Associate Professor Dr. Wee Seng Kiew, distinguished guests, faculty members, dear students, and all participants. It is with great pleasure and honor that I stand before you today at the 18th Undergraduate Colloquium on Health Sciences 2025. I extend my warmest greetings and heartfelt congratulations to the organizing committee, the faculty, and all participants for their dedication and commitment in making this prestigious event a reality. This year's theme, Healthy Lives, Madani Thrives, Advancing SDG 3 for Malaysia's Future, could not be more timely and relevant. Sustainable Development Goal 3, which aims to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages, remains a cornerstone in building a progressive and resilient society. As we gather here today, we reaffirm our commitment to this cause, especially within the Malaysian context, where health advancements are crucial to our national vision of a thriving Madani society. Health is not merely the absence of disease, it is a holistic state of physical, mental, and social well-being. In achieving SDG 3, we must embrace a multidisciplinary approach where the integration of research, education, and innovation plays a significant role. This colloquium serves as a vital platform for young minds to share knowledge, exchange ideas, and foster collaborations that will drive forward Malaysia's healthcare system. The colloquium aims to provide students with an opportunity to learn about current topics and advancements in the field of health sciences, as well as to deepen their knowledge and understanding of the subject matter. By bringing together students from different academic disciplines within the health sciences, the colloquium aims to foster interdisciplinary collaboration and promote cross-disciplinary learning. Hence, the program provides students with an opportunity to actively participate in discussions and presentations in order to develop critical thinking skills and the ability to effectively communicate complex ideas. This program also aims to hone individual skills, manage the organization of scientific research seminars, and encourage teamwork among them. Dear students and researchers, as the next generation of healthcare professionals and scientists, your role in shaping the future of Malaysia's health sector is of utmost importance. Your contributions in research, innovation, and advocacy will directly impact policies and practices that promote equitable healthcare, address emerging health challenges, and enhance the overall quality of life for Malaysians. Let this colloquium be a catalyst for your aspirations, inspiring you to push the boundaries of knowledge and make meaningful contributions to the field of health sciences. In line with the Madani framework, which emphasizes values such as sustainability, prosperity, and inclusivity, let us work together to ensure that healthcare solutions are accessible, effective, and sustainable for all. By strengthening collaborations between academia, industries, and the government agencies, we can bridge the gap between research and real-world applications, ultimately fostering a healthier and more resilient Malaysia. Before I conclude, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to Associate Professor Dr. Wee Seng Kiew and presenters for their invaluable insights and expertise. To the organizing committee, your tireless efforts in orchestrating this event are truly commendable. And to all participants, I encourage you to engage actively, network with fellow scholars, and seize every learning opportunity presented today. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, let us embark on this special occasion, 18 Undergraduate Colloquium on Health Sciences 2025, with humility and gratitude. With that, it is my great honor to officially inaugurate the 18th Undergraduate Colloquium on Health Sciences 2025. May this event be a fruitful and inspiring experience for all. Thank you, and may this gathering bring us closer to a healthier and more prosperous Malaysia.
Keep it up and don't give up. We're the best, so let's not stop. We can make it to the top.
Majlis merakamkan setinggi-tinggi penghargaan dan terima kasih kepada Yang Berbahagia Tuan atas ucapan perasmian yang telah disampaikan sebentar tadi.
The ceremony expresses its deepest appreciation and heartfelt thanks to Yang Berbahagia Tuan for the officiating speech delivered earlier.
Pohon meranti teguh berdiri, teduhnya melindung si anak tani. Terima kasih atas ucapan diberi, akan dikenang sepanjang hari.
Respected guests, allow me to take a moment to briefly introduce the biography of our guest speaker today, Associate Professor Dr. Wee Seng Kiew, an Associate Professor from the Faculty of Bioengineering, University Malaysia, Kelantan. Dr. Wee Seng Kiew is an accomplished academic and professional in the fields of bioengineering and microbiology with extensive expertise in biosafety and biosecurity. He is currently serving as an associate professor at the Faculty of Bioengineering and Technology, University Malaysia, Kelantan. Dr. Wee's academic journey spans prestigious institutions worldwide. He earned his Doctor of Philosophy in Microbiology, Molecular Microbiology from the Georgia Institute of Technology, USA in 2014. Prior to that, he completed his Master of Science in Multidisciplinary Sciences Biology at the University of Tokyo, Japan in 2005, following the Bachelor of Engineering in Bioengineering Biological Information from the Tokyo Institute of Technology, Japan in 2003. His foundational education includes an associate in engineering, applied chemistry and biochemistry from Kurume National College of Technology, Japan in 2001. Dr. Wee is a highly qualified biosafety professional holding certifications as a registered biosafety professional in Malaysian Biosafety and Biosecurity Association and as a certified biosafety professional in biorisk management and biosecurity in International Federation of Biosafety Associations. He is an active leader in scholarly and professional communities, currently serving as an Executive Council member of the Malaysia Biosafety and Biosecurity Association. He previously held the role of co-opted Executive Council member in the same organization. Since 2018, he has chaired the University Malaysia Kelantan Biosafety and Biosecurity Committee, demonstrating his dedication to fostering safety and responsibility in scientific research and practice. Dr. Wee's contributions to the academic and professional biosafety landscape reflect his commitment to advancing knowledge and ensuring the responsible use of biological research.
Seterusnya, marilah kita sama-sama mengikuti sesi perkongsian ilmu yang akan disampaikan oleh penceramah jemputan bertajuk Amalan Biokeselamatan dan Biosecurity di Makmal Biologi.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us join this knowledge sharing session, which will be delivered by our guest speaker with the title Biosafety and Biosecurity Practices in Biological Laboratories.
Untuk makluman semua, sesi soal jawab akan diadakan sebaik sahaja perkongsian ilmu daripada penceramah jemputan tamat. Sebarang soalan boleh diajukan melalui ruangan chat.
For everyone's attention, the Q&A session will be held after the guest speaker's knowledge sharing session concludes. Any questions can be submitted via the chat box. With that, we warmly invite Associate Professor Dr. Wee Seng Kiew to commence the session.
Okay. Hi, can you guys hear me? All right, thank you so much for the great introduction. Let me introduce myself again. Actually, I was with Unicell for a while, many years back. From 2005 until 2007. Yeah, I was in Unicell Shah Alam previously. Basically, my background is pretty much in bioengineering and also microbiology. But in the same time, I also have some involvement in biosafety and also biosecurity. So for those in biosecurity and biosafety in Malaysia, I think Probably many of you probably will know me. Okay. All right. So today, I'm not sure if I get the information correctly or not. I think most of the audience today is the final year students from bioscience background, I guess. Okay, health science background. Okay, so my presentation today is pretty much just for introduction about biosafety and also biosecurity. Okay, so okay, all right. I having two screens here, so I try to look at my bigger screen here. So when we do bio risk management, we need to look at both biosafety and biosecurity aspects. Okay, this biosafety and biosecurity, they sound similar. Okay, in fact, previously when we translated into Malay, okay, we translated both biosafety and biosecurity to become biokeselamatan. Okay, so for those people outside the field, probably they sound similar, but for us in the field, there are something that, how to say, causing confusion or misunderstanding or something like that. Okay, so that's why for now we translated biosafety, okay, as biokeselamatan and biosecurity as biosecurity because we want to make difference between these two. Okay, so what is biosafety and what is biosecurity? Okay, all right. Before we go into that, okay, the word biosafety and biosecurity, um, how to say, get some more attention from general publics now just because of what happened in recent years. Okay, still remember at the early days of COVID-19, there are a lot of, I'm not sure it's fake news or some speculation or we don't know what's going on, but there are many accusations saying about, oh, this COVID-19 actually originally from some lab in China. Okay, it was like some biosecurity issue, biosafety issue that the virus get leaked from some certain lab in China and so on. And from the China side, they say, oh, there's a biosecurity issue. Some soldier from US participated in what kind of army games, okay, sport event, and brought it there, so on. So we don't know all this, but of course, for most of us here, I guess, we all work in biological lab. So we don't want our lab to get attention just because of all these kind of issues. Okay. All right. So first, we need to know what is biosafety. Okay. So when we're talking about biosafety, probably this we refer to what we say the containment principle, technology, and practices that are implemented to prevent unintentional exposure to biological agent, toxin, or their accidental release. Okay, so biosafety, we're talking about unintentional exposure. Okay, something not is like done purposely. Okay, so we don't want something happen to our workers in the lab or we ourselves when we work in the lab. We don't want to get infected, for example, by the biological agent that we're dealing in the lab. Okay, so this is biosafety. So it refer to how we do to prevent unintentional exposure to biological agents. Okay, but when we talking about biosecurity, okay, so this is security issue. Okay, so basically this is about protection, control, and accountability of valuable biological material in the lab in order to prevent their unauthorized access, okay, loss, theft, misuse, diversion, or intentional release. Okay, so you guys, how you guys get some idea about what's the difference between biosafety and biosecurity? Biosafety is about unintentional exposure, but biosecurity is about intentional release. Okay, so in biosafety, biokeselamatan, okay, ini adalah how to prevent, okay, sesuatu yang tidak disengajakan. Okay, while security, sesuatu yang disengajakan. Okay, intentional. Okay, unintentional and intentional. All right. Okay, so biosafety, unintentional exposure, and biosecurity is about intentional release. Okay, all right. So let's look at biosecurity first. Okay, so when we do biosafety and biosecurity, okay, so all right, student always ask me, okay, why we need to do this, why we need to do that. Okay, we have to know that the responsibility to do biosafety and biosecurity labs, biosafety and biosecurity in the lab is a responsible of every one of us. Okay, everyone from top management to students. Okay, so there's some examples that uh, some members of the lab, okay, and also top management from a certain institution that have been taken action because failure to follow biosafety and biosecurity regulation. Okay, I give some example here. For example, University of Texas, the whole institution will fine like 2 million US dollar for biosafety breaches. I think this is in, I think maybe 10 years back. And there are also some researchers get a fine because of some biosecurity breaches. Okay, in Malaysia, we have this, we call it Biosafety Act, Akta Biokeselamatan. Okay, so, but this one is pretty much more to do with GMOs. Okay, for those who do research or work on GMO and without reporting to the authorities, they can be subjected to fine to up to 250,000. Okay, so for your information right now, okay, that's what I get from my colleagues in Jabatan Biokeselamatan. Okay, so yeah, it seemed like certain researchers in Malaysia, okay, I don't want to say from which institution, currently under investigation because of the breach of this Biosafety Act. So I hope nobody in Unicell will have to face that kind of investigation as well. Okay. All right. So to work safely in bio laboratory, okay. So to work safely, so we need to look at both biosafety and biosecurity. Okay. So to work safely, we have to look. Okay. I'm not sure you guys can see my cursor or not here. Okay. I tried to look for. Okay. Try to look for my PowerPoint. I'm not sure you can see it or not, but never mind. Okay, so to work safely in a bio lab, we have to look at both biosafety and biosecurity. So it's really important for us to do biorisk management by looking at both biosafety and biosecurity. So the aim of doing this, okay, we want to make sure everybody that work in the lab can work safely. Okay, not only those who work in the lab, not only our lab personnel, but we also want to make sure, okay, the public health, okay, the publics and also environment around us also safe. So basically we can say this, This is to make sure the protection of public health, personnel, and also environments. Okay, so I'm pretty sure most of the bio lab in Malaysia, including in Unicell, I'm pretty sure we all have, we all practice all these biosafety and biosecurity practices. Okay, so but probably maybe certain aspect that we still have to pay attention, that there are still a lot of room for improvement, I will say. Okay, just like my own institution, I'm currently the chair of the biosafety and biosecurity committee. Okay, try to okay, educate or try to give awareness to my colleagues and also students about these biosafety and biosecurity practices. Okay, so to make it easy, okay, so if we're talking about biosafety, so it's basically how to ensure we can work safely, okay, and biosecurity, how to keep the work safe, okay, all right. So that's another word. Okay, so let's look at legal requirement. Okay, what we have in Malaysia. Okay, so the legal requirement of in Malaysia, we have our regulation that follows certain international, how to say, convention or regulation. Okay, for example, in correspondent to IHR 2007, okay, IHR International Health Regulation. Okay, so Malaysia have this Malaysia Laboratory Biosafety and Biosecurity Policy and Guideline 2015. Okay, in the correspondent to Cartagena Protocol, we have this Akta Biokeselamatan 2007, okay, which is under Jabatan Biokeselamatan, okay. And in the correspondent to Biological Weapon and Toxin Convention, BWTC, okay, we have a bill still pending to be tabled in the parliament. Okay, hopefully this bill can be passed by the parliament soon. And Technology Research Institute of Defense under Ministry of Defense. Okay, Kementerian Pertahanan. All right. So these are the legal requirements that we have in Malaysia right now. Okay. Other than that, of course, our Kementerian Kesihatan, okay, Health Ministry also have several guidelines on this as well. Okay. So working safely. Okay, working safely. So what we have to do to ensure our work safe and to ensure we are safe when we are working in the lab. Okay, so look at first, we have to do assessment. Okay, we have to identify hazard. We have to look at the hazard and develop control and make. We have to develop the control on how to deal with the hazard and also the risk. Okay, and implement control and then supervise and evaluate. In other words, we have this, we call it AMP model. Okay, so first we do the assessment. Okay, then we calculate the risk and then we do the mitigation, how to minimize the risk. Okay, so through the mitigation, after we have to work on to look at whether our mitigation work or not. So this is AMP model. Okay, and if you are in OSH or in occupational safety and health, okay, this is the basic principle that normally practice in how we say it, OSHA, okay, occupational safety and health. Okay, all right. So first we have to do risk assessment. Okay, risk assessment, we have to assess the hazard. We have to identify hazard, okay, that we are dealing with in the lab. Okay, so in biological lab, okay, the hazard, there are a lot of many different type of hazard in our labs, but the concern in biosafety is those for example, the infectious agent and material and toxin and so on. That's our focus in biosafety. Okay, so and then we have to identify activities that can result in a person exposure to an agent. Okay, estimate the likelihood of such exposure will cause harm, and estimate the probability of sequences of such an infection. So basically, in biological lab, our concern is more about bioagent. Okay, so we want to make sure. Okay, we need to identify the bioagent that we're dealing with. Okay, in the lab. Okay, so when we do estimation, when we do assessment of the agents, okay, we need to do we need to do the assessment properly, because when we do underestimation, that is also not good. When we do overestimation, that is not good as well. Okay, but for example, when we underestimation of risk, okay, associated with the bioagent in our lab, it can cause adverse consequences, of course. But when we do overestimation, that can cause extra cost and burden. And we know that not many labs in Malaysia have like how to say unlimited budget. Okay, so when we do overestimation, okay, it can cause extra cost and burden, but no enhanced safety. Okay, and it also cause unnecessary burden, lead to circumvention of required safeguard. Okay, so we do overestimation. Okay, and then sometimes it's just like causing extra cost and burden, but no enhanced safety. I'll give you an example during COVID-19. Okay, during early days of COVID-19 okay, outbreak, okay, we all panic. Okay, many people panic. Not many people. I mean, almost all of us panic, especially those involved in healthcare. Okay, so there's a story that I heard from my colleagues from a certain diagnostic lab that do a diagnostic for this COVID-19 samples. Okay, so you see this when people sending sample for testing, okay, because we are afraid, people are too afraid of this newly emerged virus, okay, or newly emerged monster. Okay, what they do is for them to send a sample. Okay, in biosafety, we say if you want to send sample, we have certain guidelines like triple layers. Okay, if you follow this guideline, how to wrap your sample, that's good enough. But because of people are too worried about this COVID-19, they do extra, how to say, they keep wrapping the samples again and again and again and again. Okay, what happened is that when people receive the sample, those people involved, people in the diagnostic lab had to spend a lot of time just to open up the samples. You can imagine that they have to spend hours just to unpack those samples. So they cause unnecessary delay in the diagnostic process. Okay, that's what I'm talking about when we do overestimation. Okay, all right. So hazard. Okay, I'm trying to go a bit faster because I think I only have 1 hour here. Okay, so when we do a risk assessment, okay, we have to look at hazard. Okay, so basically hazard is a source that have a potential for causing harm. Okay, I think maybe you guys familiar with all this sign here. Okay, so for biosafety, we pay more attention to this sign down here, biosafety sign here. Okay, all right. So there's hazard. There's a lot of things that can be a hazard. Okay, so hazard is a source that have a potential that causing harm. But hazard does not mean it is a risk. We have to remember that risk is a probability of adverse event, we have to remember a hazard is not a risk without specific environment or situation. Okay, a hazard only become a risk at specific environment or situation. Okay, so risk is a likelihood of exposure. It's a combination of likelihood of exposure and consequences of an adverse effect. Okay, so come back again. What is an hazard? Okay, I give you this scenario here. Okay, so now people like to do a lot of how to say, extraordinary thing. Okay, for example, here, underwater wedding. Okay, take some time. Look at this situation. What is a hazard here? Okay, hazard is something that can cause harm. Okay, what are the things that can possibly cause the harm here? Okay, so you can see here, one of the hazard here is a water. Okay, water in your drinking water in your drinking bottle is not a risk because it will not cause harm. But water in this situation here is a risk. It can cause harm here. Okay, all right. So, and then you can see this how they mitigate the risk here. Okay, they use the oxygen tank so that okay, all right. Okay, some distraction my computer. Somebody send me. Okay, sorry for that distraction. We'll get back here. Okay, so this just factor in another hazard in this situation here. If you have a shark, for example, in this situation, okay, so you think what's a risk here? Okay, so okay, let's go a bit faster here. Okay, hazard is a source that have a potential for causing harm. Okay, hazard is not a risk without specific environment and situation. Okay, let's go faster into the real biological lab situation. Okay. Okay, so hazard and risk identification. This AMP model. Okay, so we have to identify the hazard that we're dealing with in biological lab. Okay, so we need to recognize bioagent. Okay, bioagents. Okay, can be pathogens. Okay, I'm pretty sure many of you dealing with pathogens. Okay, health sciences students, you deal with pathogens. Okay, it can be in form of bacteria, fungi, okay, virus, and so on. Okay, it can be a recombinant DNA. Okay, this is more to GMO concern. It can be toxin. That can be misuse of. Okay, and it can be also some product of synthetic biology. Okay, so when we look at the pathogen we'll be dealing with bacteria, what we have to look at is we have to, if we're dealing with chemical, we have this material safety and data sheet. Okay, this one for chemical. But for pathogen, we have this pathogen safety data sheet. Okay, so for students or new staff or not, I mean, not only new, maybe all the personnel working in the lab, I will encourage you guys to look at this PSDS for the pathogen or bacteria or fungi or virus that you're working with. Okay, sometimes PI, okay, your supervisor, they already work in the field for many years. Okay, sometimes they overlook on this. PI, including myself, sometimes I overlook on this because we already to get used with the agents that we use in the lab, but we forget about our new students, our new staff that came in. Okay, so that's why I will encourage every personnel that working in the lab, if you're dealing with some agent, pathogen or bacterial strains, okay, it's good for you to look at the PSDS to see is it this bacteria or fungi or virus like is it harmful? Okay, what's the risk group of it? Okay, so for pathogens, we have to look at the risk group. Okay, so it can be divided into risk group 1, risk group 2, risk group 3, and risk group 4. Okay, so like I'm not sure about Unicell now. Okay, for UMK currently, I only allow my our researcher to deal with pathogen which belong to risk group 2 and below because the limitation in our facility. For those who want to deal with risk group 3 and above, okay, for UMK is not allowed. Okay, so risk group 1 is referred to something like no or low individual and community risk and unlikely to cause human and animal disease. Okay, there are, for example, the bacteria that I'm using in my lab right now, Shigella onadensis. Okay, this actually belong to risk group 1. And we also using certain bacteria that belong to risk group 2. Okay, risk group 2, this refer to some kind of pathogen that can cause moderate individual risk but low community risk. Okay, it can cause moderate individual risk but low community risk, meaning if that person get infected, and the likelihood that the person can spread it to other people is very low. That's what we call it low community risk. Okay, can cause disease but unlikely to be serious hazard. Okay, so lab exposure may cause serious infection, but effective treatment and preventive measure are available of risk group. The available and the risk spread of infection is limited. Okay, but for those belong to risk group 3, okay, risk group 3 refer to like high individual risk but low community risk, while risk group 4, high individual risk and high individual and high community risk. So and we have to know that this risk group, okay, how we divided our organism pathogen into risk group, we can refer to list by WHO, and also for Malaysia, it's good for us to refer to the list provided by KKM, Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia, because the clarification of pathogens between countries will be slightly different. For example, in Malaysia, dengue. Okay, dengue in Malaysia is we do not like. It's quite common in Malaysia. Okay, so we just put in a lower risk group. But if you go to certain country that not familiar with it, for example, Japan, okay, probably they were going to put this in the higher risk group. Okay, in fact, they have like outbreak of dengue in Tokyo a few years back. People were there quite panicked about it because that is not something that they encounter normally. Okay. Okay, so if you want to look at risk group of the pathogen agent that we are using, so check out the list provided by the Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia, or you also can go to the WHO list. Okay, but I would say the list provided by KKM will be more accurate for Malaysia. Okay, so another thing is that many of people that are working in the biolab, they kind of misunderstood about risk group and biosafety level. Okay, so biosafety level, this is we refer to the facility, not the agent. Okay, biosafety level are ways to categorize, how to say, way to control the agent. Okay, that's why we say, oh, in UMK, we have biosafety level 2, okay, labs, okay, maybe in certain universities like University of Malaya, maybe they have a not maybe they're having a better lab. Okay, they have biosafety level 3 lab, for example. Okay, so this is biosafety level. We refer to the facility, safety equipment, and so on. So risk group is used in risk assessment, and biosafety BSL is used in risk management. it refers to facility, safety equipment, practices, PPE, and so on. Okay, so once we do the assessment for the risk, then we can come out with the appropriate biosafety level. The appropriate biosafety level is determined. Okay, that's it. All right. So biosafety level 1, okay, this especially refer to open bench and no containment. Okay, so normally if you're dealing with risk group 1 bacteria, okay, it is good enough to use biosafety level. Is for example, if we're dealing with risk group 1 agent, okay, we can like just do it in biosafety level 1. But remember, risk group 1, biosafety level 1, risk group 2, biosafety level 2, risk group 3, to biosafety level 3. This is misconception. Okay, so biosafety level 1, okay, as I said, okay, you can just use biosafety level 1 lab to deal with biosafety risk group 1 agents. Yes, that's right. Okay, but you cannot say like, oh, okay, how to say, I rephrase what I'm trying to say here is that you cannot just like do the easy estimation, say, okay, if you want to deal with risk group 3, then you have to have biosafety level 3. No, that's not the case, because classification of biosafety level and risk group are different. Okay, so risk group just refer to the agent, and the biosafety level refer to more to like the risk management that we do. Okay, for example, the facility and also the practices. Okay, all right. So I think if I'm not mistaken, okay, lab in a Unicell, okay, probably have this biosafety level 2 labs. Okay, so that will allow you to deal with agent or moderate hazard. Okay. So what's this basic requirement about safety level 2? Okay. The guidelines, okay, the criteria of biosafety level 1, 2, 3, 4. This one you can refer to the WHO guideline. Okay, so in general, if the lab have autoclave and have biosafety cabinet, and then some other basic equipments, we can say that this is a biosafety level 2 labs. Okay, so but if you want to work with higher risk group agents, probably we need to have biosafety level 3. Okay, biosafety level 3 lab in Malaysia currently, there are not many biosafety level 3 lab in Malaysia. Okay, from what I know, we have one in University Malaya, UM. We have one in MKK. Okay, we have one in Strike. Okay, Science Technology Research Institute for Defense under Ministry of Defense, and I think that the veterinary also have one biosafety level 3 lab in Ipoh, I guess, somewhere near Ipoh. Okay, but for my institution, UMK, because we have this veterinary department, many of our researchers working on zoonotic disease. Okay, we try to get this one biosafety level 3 lab in our institution, but to have this biosafety level 3 lab is not, how to say, we need to a lot of budget just for maintenance for it. So right now we still don't have it. Okay, but biosafety level 4 labs, okay, for information, in the whole country of Malaysia, we don't have any. Okay, in fact, for the whole region of Southeast Asia, we only have one in Singapore. Okay, currently only one biosafety level 4 lab in Southeast Asia, which is in Singapore. Okay, all right. So probably we don't need to talk about this. All right. So once we do the assessment about the risk that we are dealing with, so we have to come up with mitigation. Okay, so basically how to control the risk. Okay, so how to control the risk? Okay, so mitigation biorisk, okay, it can be a combination of several strategies. Okay, we can look at the safety equipment, we can look at the facility design, and also practices and technique. Okay, so we do the mitigation, we do the calculation, and then we look at the residual risk. Okay, so we do the assessment. This is how we do assessment. We sorry, yeah, sorry. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Okay, so we do the assessment about risk assessment, and then we do the calculation about the mitigation we can do, and then from there we look at the what we call it the residual risk. Okay, so we look at we determine the residual risk. Okay, the risk that remain after implementing measure to reduce it. Okay, so for example, I give you COVID-19 samples. Okay, somebody at higher authority, for example, okay, during the outbreak of COVID-19, because we don't have enough facility to do diagnostic for COVID-19. And somebody at higher authority come to UNICEF, for example, hey, can you guys help us to do diagnostic, can you guys help us to do some research about COVID-19? Somebody at higher authority, or maybe your state government come to you and ask you for this. So when you do the assessment, you look at the risk, and look at the mitigation that you available for you, and you do the calculation and you determine the residual risk. Look at it. Okay, so somebody asks you to do something with the COVID-19, and you look around at your facility and so on. Look at your persona. Then you have to then you have to make a decision. Okay, you have to look at the residual risk. Okay, the risk that remain after implementing measure to reduce it, and then you decide whether you can accept the residual risk. Okay, if you can accept the residual risk, then proceed. If not, it's better for you, okay, not to proceed, okay, or maybe you can ask for further bio-risk reduction, asking for more budget for certain thing or so on. Okay, so that's example. Okay, so how we mitigate the risk? Okay, so mitigate the risk just like what we always learn in OSHA. Okay, occupational safety and health. Okay, so it started with the mitigation, substitution, engineering control, administrative control, and PPE. Okay, so this is what I call it the hierarchy of controls. Okay, so we have to understand that the hierarchy control, the methods at the bottom it is actually the least effective one. Okay, so hierarchy control always look at this. If we can eliminate it, that's the best. But in most of the cases, we have no choice, but we have to implement the hierarchy, the control that listed here at the bottom of the hierarchy. Okay, so as a lab personnel, okay, at the lab personnel level, most of us don't have the authority to make decision about to do or not to do. But yes, of course, Malaysia is a democratic country. If you feel like I don't want to do it, you can just resign from your work. Okay, that's fine. But the reality is most of us here, we don't have that luxury to do that, because if we quit our job, okay, it's not easy for us to get another job. Okay, it's not that you quit the job here today and you can get new job tomorrow. Okay, so many of lab personnel in Malaysia, okay, we end up to have to depend on the lowest hierarchy of control, which is the PPE. Okay, so PPE is how to say is like the last line of defense for us. Okay, that's why for lab personnel, I always emphasize um, for in my institution, I always emphasize for our lab personnel to use PPE properly. Make sure they use PPE properly because this is the last defense for them. Okay, but because I said, as I mentioned just now, many people at the low in the lab personnel level, they have no authority to make any decision. Okay, to deal with agents or not. So as for people that work in the lab, it's good for us to know how to protect ourselves. Okay. All right. This is for example. Try to go. Okay, so this is an example of engineering control. Okay, I'm pretty sure in UMK you guys also have a biosafety cabinet, if I'm not mistaken. During my time in UMK, we already have this. Okay, so this is example of engineering control. Okay, I'm go a bit faster here. Okay, so the control. Okay, normally we have to use in tandem for each other. Okay, this is a combination. Okay, lab personnel they depend on the PPE. Okay, but the administrative level, okay, we can do administrative control. Okay, so for example, we limit the personnel. We have to make sure personnel that are gonna work in the lab have the proper training. Okay, they have proper knowledge to deal with the agent and so on. We also can do engineering, for example, the laboratory design. We design it accordingly, follow the regulation and the guidelines. Okay, and maybe do the proper getting the proper biosafety cabinet and so on. Okay, all right. That's about biosafety. Okay, this is just I'm not sure I can take the question right now or not, but it seems like I have to proceed. Okay, so remember when we're talking about biosafety, it's about unintentional exposure. Okay, now we go to biosecurity. Biosecurity is about its security issue. So uh, security is about intentional, how to prevent something intentional, how to prevent somebody with the bad intention. Okay, this is biosecurity. Okay, so okay, I repeat it again. Biosecurity is protection, control, and accountability for valuable biological material within labs in order to prevent their unauthorized access, loss, theft, misuse, diversion, or intentional release. Okay, so right now we're pretty concerned about biosecurity issue. Okay, because many of these agents can be misused. Many of bioagent in our lab can be misused to become what we call it bio weapons. Okay, bioweapon, and many of the work we do in the lab also can be what we call it dual use research, can be misused. Okay, that can misuse, that can be misapplied to others to pose threat to public health, safety, agriculture, crop, and others. Okay, and the environment and so on. So this is biosecurity issue. um, Actually, biosecurity issue is not something new. It's not something new. It happened even hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago. It's not something new. Bioweapon. For example, in the time of Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan, okay, probably about 800 years ago, Genghis Khan already used bioweapon. Okay, when when his troops siege certain city and the city choose not to surrender, what they do? sometimes they throw in the corpse, dead bodies, okay, dead bodies are infected with certain disease. They throw in the city wall, okay, and cause disease for those defender in the cities that don't want to surrender. Okay, this is not something new, but current is not the problem in the modern world only, but it already been a problem a long time ago. But we only pay serious attention of it lately. Okay. So the control in biosecurity can be the physical, personnel, material control, accountability, transportation, and information security. Okay, first thing. Okay, all right. Physical security. Okay, so remember when we do biosecurity, this one we want to ensure our work is safe. We don't want somebody that come into our lab and steal our stuff. We don't want somebody with bad intention come into our lab, steal our biological agent and misuse it. Okay, we don't want, for example, people, for example, in UMK, we have a researcher dealing with zoonotic disease. Okay, we don't want somebody come into our lab, store those zoonotic agents, and then use it as bioweapons, spread it, okay, and cause infections. Okay, we don't want that. So that's why we have to make sure we have this physical security in our lab. Make sure the lab locked properly, okay, and only open at certain time and so on. Okay, we also have to check on the personnel working in our lab, personal security. Okay, I think the hiring process for lab personnel, okay, normally we have this kind of background check. Okay, we have to make sure that the personnel that work in our lab do not have that questionable background. Okay, we also want to make sure, okay, our personnel, our staff, okay, don't have like don't bring their personal problem into, and then that can cause them to do something that stupid. Okay, so we also have to do this check on the personnel security. Okay, so I think I'm not sure about Unicel. I'm pretty sure, but in our institution, because we are public universities, or if we're going to hire new staff to work in our lab, we have to do background check quite rigorously. Okay, so we also have to take this kind of psychological test to ensure they are, how to say, psychological or mentally stable and so on. Okay, so another aspect of biosecurity is the material control and accountability. Okay, this is really important, but many people fail to do this. Okay, we need to make sure, okay, that those bioagents in our lab, we need to keep track of it. Okay, so by time to time, we need to do, how to say, audit. Okay, we need to make sure we have a proper record on what we keep in our lab. Okay, so, and then if we're gonna transfer agent, okay, from one place to one place, for example, from Unicell, you want to work together with me, you want to send the agent to me, it's good for you to, it's good for us to have what we call the MTA, Material Transfer Agreement, okay, so that we have all the documentation, all this. Okay, so for example, this is really important. Okay, but I have to admit too, sometimes this is what people in my institution also fail to do. Okay, we make freezer stock. For those in microbiology, we like to do freezer stock. Okay, maybe let's say we make 10 vials of freezer stock of these pathogenic bacteria, pathogenic agents. Okay, and then we just keep in our lab. Okay, after a few years, we don't know how many left, and we don't know where all those wire gone to. Okay, so it can be somebody might just took it and how to say, use it for other bad purposes, we don't know. So it's really important for us to really do control on this. Okay, so this is example here. Okay, forgotten vials. Okay, smallpox. Okay, smallpox had been declared by WHO, if I'm not mistaken. WHO already declared smallpox as something already extinct. Okay, meaning no more smallpox. Okay, but sometime when we do clean up in old laboratories, sometimes forgotten vial of this smallpox virus still can be found. Okay, as it is reported here. Okay, and you can imagine some disease that when WHO already officially make a declaration that smallpox already extinct, but somebody say can get the freezer stock in some lab. You can imagine if they take out this vial and propagate the virus and spread it, they're gonna cause a lot of how to say, outbreak. It probably can cause outbreak and cause a lot of panic in the society. Okay, so all right, I'll go a bit faster. Okay, and also we have to ensure transportation security. Okay, transportation security when we send our bio agent. Okay, so we don't want somebody to like intercept it. Okay, now I'm talking about security, not safety. Yeah? So we have to make sure we can transport our bio agent uh, safely, so nobody gonna do anything to it. Okay, we have to make sure it can arrive from point A to point B safely. Okay, so transportation security. So to transport bioagent. Okay, if biosafety, we say we need to have this triple packaging. Okay, according to IOTA guidelines, you send it by air or certain uh, how to say, requirements setting by the courier service provider. Okay, but in terms of security, you have to make sure we keep track with this, the movement of this agent. Okay, it's really important for us to use a reliable courier and so on. Okay, and then one more thing is that currently that we have need to pay attention is the information security. Okay, so information security in the era of how to say cloud internet and then so on, now AI. So we have to make sure the information is kept properly. Okay, because we know that people with bad intention, people with bad intention. Okay, for example, they want to create some monster. They want to create some monster, certain monster. They want to make a certain how to say uh, certain agents. Okay, they want to replicate certain agent virus. Now people can do can how to say produce virus synthetically, or maybe there's overclaim, or I can say that semi synthetically. Okay, what they need is just the DNA sequence, DNA or RNA sequence of it. Once they get into their hand, the information into their hand, they can replicate the DNA or RNA and insert it in certain host, and then make it to produce to create the to make the to create the bioagent so that they can misuse it as bioweapon and so on. So that's why we have to pay attention on this. Um, as a researchers, we always like to say publish. We like to publish our findings, but certain thing we need to think again. Probably certain information is we shouldn't publish. Okay, so not all information have to be published. Certain information, okay, for example, the sequence of these virulent factor, for example, probably we have to rethink about it. When we publish it, maybe we want to how to say keep some of it, not publish 100% of it. We just publish a certain portion of it, and another portion of it we just keep it. This is because this kind of information can be misused. Okay, yeah, this is something that researchers need to think about. Okay, so it's not that I'm saying that we shouldn't publish. Okay, so there's something that we should consider, certain thing that we can expose to the general population. Okay, and certain information probably we want to share it among a certain group of people only, and so on. So this we have to make sure the information security done properly. Yeah. Okay, so we do this biosecurity is mainly to prevent bioterrorism. Okay, we don't want to allow people with bad intention to use our valuable biological material. We call it WBM. Okay, or bioagent. We don't want people to use it for certain to create certain bad thing to the society. Okay, so this example of bioterrorism, example of bioterrorism. So bioterrorism is not something new. Okay, for example, if you go to Kenduri, for example, right? You guys like in Malaysia, we like to go Kenduri, right? Okay, you go Kenduri, then what happen is, okay, semua yang makan kenduri itu sakit perut. Okay, right. So, do we know this? Ini isu biosafety atau isu biokeselamatan? Atau biokeselamatan atau biosecurity? Okay, kita pergi kenduri, makan dan sakit perut. So how can we know this is something yang disengajakan atau tidak disengajakan? We don't know, right? Okay, so this is example of a terrorist attack in Dallas, in Oregon, okay, US in 1984. Okay, so this is quite interesting. Because this is related to election. Because this is very small town. Okay, small town, pengundi dia tak ramai. Okay, small town, pengundi dia tak ramai. So there's one candidate. Candidate ni dia belong to one religious group. Okay, so dia punya ketua religious group tu bertanding dan dia nak menang. Okay, because the town is very small, the voters tak ramai, so dia strategize. Okay, dia tahu kalau bertanding dengan biasa adil, they will not win. Of course, they will not win. Okay, but what they do is, okay, they do some bioterrorism, okay, attack. Okay, apa yang dia orang buat? Okay, dia pergi ke restoran-restoran di bandar tersebut. Okay, 1 or 2 days before the election day, dia pergi spread salmonella. Okay, imagine kalau di Malaysia kita ada banyak tempat jual nasi campur kan, kedai-kedai mamak. Okay, dia pergi tabur semua salmonella ke dalam kari-kari tu. Okay, semua makanan tu. So many people ended become sick and cannot go to voting the next day. Okay, so this is supaya orang yang tak sokong dia tu tak dapat pergi mengundi. So from this, okay, it has been reported to roughly about 700 illness and many got hospitalized but no fault. And then of course lah, okay, bilangan pengundi yang keluar tu berkurangan, tetapi this religious group tidak menang. Dia tidak menang. And then kes ni hanya pecah, hanya terbongkar. Okay, kes ini hanya terbongkar many years back. Many years back. At first, pihak berkuasa tidak tahu pun apa yang terjadi. Okey, apa yang terjadi sehari dua sebelum pilihan raya tu. Okey, dia autoriti pihak berkuasa tidak tahu. Cuma benda ni pecah rahsia bila kumpulan agama ni berpecah. So bila mereka berpecah, what happen is mulalah mereka attack each other dan ada yang melaporkan perkara ini kepada pihak berkuasa. Okay, so this example here. Alright, another example here is like maybe you guys familiar. I'm not sure you guys familiar or not this face. Kalau my generation, this face is quite familiar lah because selalu keluar dalam paper, dalam TV, dalam paper. Okay, Aung Shinrikyo. Okay, Aung Shinrikyo is like quite notorious for attack, especially yang dia guna sarin gas untuk attack subway di Tokyo. Okay, so luckily masa tu saya masih tak ada di Tokyo. Saya pergi ke Tokyo 3 years after the attack. Okay, so dia guna gas sarin untuk attack subway di Tokyo. So but before that this group, okay, yang ni kumpulan agama juga, religious group. Okay, sebenarnya sebelum dia buat serangan menggunakan senjata kimia, okay, gas sarin, they try with anthrax. Dia guna anthrax, okay. Dia try dengan anthrax tapi somehow tidak berjaya kerana some kesilapan ahli dia lah. Okay, maybe luckily lah strain anthrax yang group member dia dapat tu adalah yang jenis tak virulence. Dia entahlah dia ambil dari mana, dia curi dari makmah mana, tak tahu. Tapi yang dia dapat tu jenis yang tidak virulence, luckily. And they go spread it in Tokyo as well. Tak ada orang mati. Okay. Ini pun hanya terbongkar selepas tu lah. Okay. Alright. Alright. This is apa yang berlaku quite recently. Okay. Yang ni berlaku masa saya di US dulu. Okay. Ni pun berkaitan dengan politik juga. Okay. What happened here is like certain people, they're not happy with certain of government policy. What they do is they send letters. They send letters to certain politicians. Okay, a few of them received the letter, and when they open it, there is white powder inside it, and this white powder turned out to be anthrax. Okay. That turned out to be the spore of anthrax. Okay, luckily nobody get infected of this lah. Okay, that's why it become of how to say. Okay, I don't want to mention about this lah. Nanti you guys tiru pula. Okay, so this example of bioterrorism attack that we have here. Okay, but in Malaysia sebenarnya ada. Sebenarnya ada. If we're talking with those with in the field, okay, maybe we not really want to reveal it to the public. Okay, case di Malaysia sebenarnya pernah ada case terpencil, pernah ada. Tapi okay, so I don't want to talk about it here lah. Okay, so let's wrap up about this. I think I exceeding my time. Okay, so when we do biorisk assessment, we have to look at both biosafety and biosecurity aspect. Okay, so how to prevent unintentional exposure. Okay, sesuatu yang tidak disengajakan. Okay, exposure, pendedahan kepada agent-agent biologi yang tidak disengajakan, and also how to prevent sesuatu yang disengajakan oleh orang-orang dengan niat yang tidak baik. How to prevent intentional release of bioagent, okay, by those people with a bad intention. Okay, so we have to look at this properly, okay, so that we so that we look at the both of it. We can look at biosafety and biosecurity and come up with one how to say management strategy. Okay, so to make sure the protection of public health, personnel, and also the environment. Okay, so some people will argue that some people will argue that biosecurity and biosafety, okay, sometimes they contradict each other. Okay, yes, we have done a lot of case study about this. Yes, in certain aspect, okay, biosafety and biosecurity kind of contradict to each other. But in the most cases, okay, biosafety and biosecurity, okay, support each other. Okay, so for those involved in laboratory management, okay, so we need to pay attention of this, okay, so to make sure we work safely in the lab, okay, and to ensure our work also safe, okay, to also ensure that our work is secure, okay. All right, try to finish this, okay. Okay, so we need to look both on biosafety and biosecurity. And then when we found a certain thing that safety and security contradict to each other, then we have to sit down and then think about it and then make a right decision. Okay, certain place will pay more attention to security. Certain place will do otherwise. Okay, it depends. So if we in the biosecurity and biosafety, we do not say biosecurity is more important than biosafety is more important than biosecurity. So it depends on which the situation and it depends on the institution and also the facility. So all right, so take home message from me. Okay, so for biological lab, we need to integrate both biosafety and biosecurity consideration into decision about lab operation. Okay, so risk assessment is a fundamental resource for allocation tools. Okay, so biosecurity is a key part of lab operation. Okay, so I think we emphasize this because we notice that many lab in Malaysia probably pay a lot of attention about safety and then sometimes overlook about biosecurity. Okay, so program management is overarching component of biosafety and biosecurity program. All right, thank you so much. Okay, I think that's all from me. Okay, this is my contact for students or any other and also staff. If you have any question about biosafety and biosecurity, feel free to contact me through email. Okay, here's my email. And then for students, okay, for student, currently I'm also have a few research project going on related to microbiology. Okay, so if some of you are interested to do internship, okay, feel free to contact me in my place. And at the same time, I also still looking for PhD and master student. So if you are interested to continue your study in my place, okay, feel free to contact me as well. Okay, I think it's a good time for me to stop here. If you have any question, I'm happy to answer your questions. I'm sorry because maybe too much to digest for 1 hour here. Okay.
Terima kasih Dr. Wee atas pembentangan yang penuh maklumat mengenai amalan biokeselamatan dan biosecurity di makmal biologi. Kami amat menghargai masa dan kepakaran Dr. Wee dalam berkongsi pengetahuan yang sangat berharga ini bersama kami.
Thank you, Dr. Wee, for the insightful presentation on biosafety and biosecurity practices in biological laboratories. We truly appreciate your time and expertise in sharing such valuable knowledge with us.
Seterusnya, kita akan membuka sesi soal jawab. Jika mempunyai sebarang soalan, boleh diajukan di ruangan chat. So, mari kita ambil peluang ini untuk mendapatkan lebih banyak penjelasan daripada Dr. Wee.
Now we will open the floor for Q&A session. If you have any questions, please feel free to type the questions in the chat box. Let's take this opportunity to gain further insights from Dr. Wee.
Okay, so kita ada audience punya soalan. Yang pertama,
Okay,
hi Prof.
we have
Very interesting lecture. I have a question. How often should biological risk assessments be updated, and what area the most overlooked risk in laboratories?
Okay, risk assessment have to be done continuously. Okay, especially when we are dealing with new agent, you need to do continuously. It's not like one time. Of course, if we say audit, biosafety audit, biosafety inspection, you can do periodically, but risk assessment need to be done continuously because we don't know what's a new thing that you're going to deal with every day. Okay, do I answer the question? But if you mention about that audit, okay, that it can be done like every few months or once a year. Okay, and then according to Malaysia Biosafety Act, okay, this have to be done yearly. Okay, if you're talking about audit, but if you're talking about risk assessment, it's an everyday work. Okay, do I answer your question?
Okay, doctor, we have the
Okay.
second question
Why
from
biosafety
Aziz.
and biosecurity is crucial in biological lab? Okay, because we are dealing with bioagent. Okay, bioagent can cause harm to us. I mean, not all. Okay, many of it can cause harm to us. So want to ensure we work safely in the lab, and we also need to know many of our bioagent, or we call it VBM, valuable biological material, also can be misused. Okay, they can use it for some kind of bioterrorism and so on. So that's why we have to make sure our work is secure. We don't want somebody to take it and misuse it for some other bad things. Okay, so that's all. Come back to why we want to have to do biosafety and biosecurity to ensure we work safely in the lab, okay, and also to make sure our work is secure. We don't want somebody to misuse it for bad intention, sorry. Okay, now do I answer that? Okay, what measure can be implemented to prevent misuse of biological research for harmful purpose? Okay, measures, as I mentioned in my slide previously, just now. Okay, this you can go back to the control in biosecurity. Okay, so if I'm going to talk about this, okay, it can take few hours because normally we do, for MBBA, we do this biosafety, biosecurity trainings. It took like 7 weeks syllabus. But okay, so what measure you can do? First, you have to do physical control, make sure people cannot access to your lab easily. Okay, only certain people can do personnel control, that only certain people can access to the biomaterial and so on. Okay, that's the control. That's just look at the biosecurity controls that we talked about just now. Okay, or do you want me to elaborate it? It might take a lot of time. Yeah. Okay, feel free to contact me. I'm going to elaborate it to you later. Okay, any other question?
Terima kasih kepada semua atas soalan yang bernas sebentar tadi dan penghargaan khas kepada Dr. Wee kerana sudi menjawab kesemua soalan-soalan tersebut. Sedikit peringatan kepada semua peserta untuk mengisi borang pendaftaran e-sijil melalui pautan yang telah disediakan. Sila pastikan anda melengkapkannya sebelum majlis ini berakhir.
Thank you everyone for your thoughtful questions, and a special thank you to Dr. Wee for addressing them. A little reminder to all participants to fill out the e-certificate registration form using the link provided. Please ensure you complete it before the event ends.
Majlis merakamkan setinggi-tinggi penghargaan dan terima kasih kepada penceramah jemputan Associate Professor Dr. Wee Seng Kyu.
The event expresses its heartfelt thanks and sincere appreciation to our guest speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Wee Seng Kyu.
Okay, terima kasih semua. Okay, I'm happy juga. Saya pernah mengajar di UNICEF. Okay, boleh bercakap dengan student UNICEF balik. Terbayang juga zaman-zaman muda dulu. Okay, terima kasih semua. Okay, thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the next segment, we are pleased to invite our first oral presenter, Ms. Balkish binti Hawash Khan, to deliver her presentation on her final year project research titled Evaluation of Leukocyte Viability and Phenotypic Stability Across Different Concentrations of Fetal Bovine Serum During Cryopreservation, supervised by Madam Nur Khairul Bariah Baharun.
Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, bagi segmen seterusnya, majlis dengan sukacitanya menjemput pembentang lisan yang pertama, Saudari Balkish binti Hawash Khan, untuk membentangkan kajian projek tahun akhir beliau yang bertajuk Evaluation of Leukocyte Viability and Phenotypic Stability Across Different Concentration of Fetal Bovine Serum During Cryopreservation di bawah siliaan Puan Nur Khairul Bariah Baharun. Dengan segala hormatnya, majlis menjemput beliau untuk memulakan pembentangan.
Assalamualaikum and good morning to the respected panels, lecturers and also fellow colleagues. My name is Balkish binti Hawash Khan and today I am honoured to present my thesis title, Evaluations of Leukocyte Viability and Phenotypic Stability Across Different Concentrations of Fetal Bovine Serum During Cryopreservations. First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to my supervisor, Puan Nur Khairul Bariah binti Baharun, for her invaluable guidance, support and encouragement throughout this research journey. With that, let me begin the presentations. This is the table of contents. So, introductions. Cryopreservation is a fundamental technique in biomedical research and clinical applications, allowing for the long-term storage of the cells and future use. However, the freeze store process poses significant changes such as reduced cell viability and altering the phenotypic stability profile in immune cells. Fetal bovine serum is widely used in cryopreservation media due to its protective properties that mitigate cryo-induced cellular damage. Despite its effectiveness, the optimal concentration remains undetermined. Therefore, this study evaluates the effect of different FPS concentrations, which is 30%, 60%, and 90% of leukocyte viability and phenotypic stability after cryopreservations by aiming to identify an optimal concentration, balancing the effectiveness and also cost efficiency. So for these studies, the main objective is to evaluate the percentage of leukocyte viability and phenotypic stability using different concentration of FPS in freezing media. But as a specifically, firstly to compare the percentage of leukocyte subset, which is including lymphocyte, monocytes, and also granulocyte across different concentration of FPS. Secondly, to identify the percentage of lymphocyte subset, which is marker cluster of differentiation, including CD3, CD4, CD8, CD19, and also natural killer cells across different concentration of FPS, and lastly to determine the cell's viability percentage using PI staining analyzed using flow cytometry across different concentration of FPS. Hypothesis. As the alternate hypothesis, they are significant different in the leukocyte phenotypic and viability percentage when using different concentration of FPS on the freezing media. As for the null hypothesis, there are no significant difference in the leukocyte phenotypic and viability percentage when using different concentrations of FPS on the freezing media. So methodology. This study actually is an experimental based study focusing on evaluating the effect of varying concentration of FPS. For this study, the peripheral blood sample were collected from 5 healthy donors using EDTA as the anticoagulants. Then the collected sample was processed the next day for cryopreservation. Leukocyte cells were suspended in the freezing media containing 30%, 60%, and also 90% of FPS. As a baseline test was conducted to establish the pre-cryo data. After 1 week of storage, the sample was rapidly thawed at 37 degrees and immediately processed. Cells viability was assessed using PI staining, while the phenotype of leukocyte including subsets was assessed using specific antibody marker. And this test was analyzed using flow cytometry analyzer. And for the statistical analysis, one-way ANOVA was performed to determine statistical significance, where the p-value shows less than 0.05 have a significant difference. As for the result and discussions, for the first figure we can see from here, this is the leukocyte subsets containing lymphocytes, monocytes, and also granulocyte percentage across pre and post cryopreservations. So for the panel A and C show no significant difference in the lymphocyte and granulocyte between the pre and post cryopreservation group across the different FBS concentration. But as we can see from the panel B, show a significant difference in monocytes percentage between the pre and post with a group of 30 and also 90% FBS. The second figure is the lymphocyte subset, which is the CD marker result across different FBS concentrations. So for this result, panel A, which is CD3, panel C, CD8, and panel D, CD19, and also panel E, NK cells containing of CD16 and CD55 show no significant difference between the pre and also post cryopreservation across different concentration of FBS. So the stability of these subsets align with the previous study by Muhammad on 2024, who observed minimal cryopreservation induced altering the phenotype of similar immune cells. Meanwhile, as we can see from the panel B, which is CD4, show a significant difference between the pre-cryo and also at the 90% FBS, suggesting that the higher FBS concentration may offer a protective effect for certain cell subset, which is aligned with the principle discussed by Jaswal and also Waga 2022, who emphasized that the choice of cryoprotective agent and their concentration are critical factor influencing cell survival during cryopreservations. And for my last result, this is the leukocyte viability result. As we can see from this result, there are no significant difference was seen between the pre and also post across the different concentration of FBS. So these findings suggest that FBS concentration within the tested ranges does not play a critical role in determining overall viability during cryopreservations. So the finding in this study indicate that once a threshold concentration of FBS is reached, which is 30% percentage, additional increase may not yield significant improvement in viability. But as we can see, there is also have some limitation and also recommendation due to this study. Since this experimental study have revealed several limitation and also recommendation. For the first one, this study only focused at 30%, 60%, also 90% concentrations tested. So intermediate or lower concentration, like maybe lesser than 30%, could offer additional insight. Secondly, this study exclusively focused on FPS without exploring the effect of other cryopretentous agents like DMSO in isolations. Therefore, further investigation should evaluate other cryoprotectants to enhance post-thaw recovery and also minimize toxicity. Last but not least, the current study primarily evaluate the short-term outcome, focusing on immediate post-cell viability and phenotypic stability. Therefore, for further research, it should be explored to the impact of prolonged cryostorage duration to provide a more comprehensive understanding of how storage time influence cells' integrity and functionality. Conclusions. So for this finding indicate that the result between different concentrations are not significantly different in overall leukocytes and viability during cryopreservation. Therefore, this study concludes that 30% FPS is the most effective and sufficient choice for general leukocyte cryopreservation. However, 90% of FBS enhance the recovery of specific subsets such as monocytes and CD4 T cell, suggesting that higher FBS concentrations may provide more additional protective advance. So with that, this is the reference. I would like to say thank you to everyone for the attentions.
Terima kasih diucapkan kepada saudari Balkish atas penyampaian pembentangan yang sangat informatif sebentar tadi.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the next segment, we are pleased to welcome our second oral presenter, Mrs. Suvainantini Anak Perempuan Anbanantan, to present her final year project research titled Comparison of New Transcutaneous Bilirubin Meter JM105 and MBJ20 with Total Serum Bilirubin Measurement in Neonatal Jaundice, supervised by Madam Asma Harun.
Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, untuk segmen seterusnya, kita dengan sukacitanya kami menjemput pembentang lisan kedua saudari Suba Ainantini Anak Perempuan Anbanatan untuk membentangkan kajian projek tahun akhir beliau yang bertajuk Comparison of New Transcutaneous Bilirubin Meter JM105 and MBJ20 with Total Serum Bilirubin Measurement in Neonatal Jaundice di bawah seliaan Puan Asma Harun. Dengan segala hormatnya, majlis menjemput beliau untuk memulakan pembentangan.
Thank you. A very good morning to Honorable Lecturer, distinguished speaker, and valued 18 UCHS 2025 team members. I'm Suvainantini Anbanandan. I will take a glimpse of minutes to thank my Honorable Supervisor, who is Madam Asma binti Harun, who had guided me throughout my thesis preparation without any failure and with excellent knowledge. Today, it is an honor to present my study title, Comparison of New Transcutaneous Bilirubin Meter JM105 and MBJ20 with Total Serum Bilirubin Measurement in Neonatal Jaundice. Table of Contents. Okay, introduction. The study evaluated the accuracy of two transcutaneous bilirubin meter, JM105 and MBJ20, in comparison with the traditional total serum bilirubin measurement in diagnosing neonatal jaundice. Neonatal jaundice is a common in newborn caused by elevated bilirubin level. About neonatal jaundice, it is a result from hyperbilirubinemia, leading to a yellowish tint on the newborn skin. In severe cases, high bilirubin level can progress to bilirubin encephalopathy, known as carinitis, which can be life-threatening. Survivors from carinitis often experience long-term complications such as cerebral palsy, hearing loss at high frequency, and intellectual disabilities. Okay, what is about TSB and TCB? TSB is total serum bilirubin, a blood test that measured the overall amount of the bilirubin present in blood serum. It measured bilirubin, a byproduct of red blood cell breakdown, which is normally processed and eliminated by the liver through bile. Okay, what is transcutaneous bilirubin means? A non-invasive method of measuring bilirubin level in a newborn baby blood by shining light on their skin and analyzing the reflect light. It measured unlikely a blood test. Transcutaneous bilirubin only required placing a device on a baby's skin usually on forehead or sternum, to measure the bilirubin level. Research objective. Okay. To measure the correlation of transcutaneous bilirubin measured and serum bilirubin measurement. Second is to measure the transcutaneous bilirubin in neonates by scanning their sternum with GM105 and MBJ20 device. Third is to measure the total serum bilirubin measurement by obtaining blood from the neonates. From the study, the hypothesis of null hypothesis, there is no significant difference between transcutaneous bilirubin measurement and total serum bilirubin measurement. Alternate hypothesis is there is a significant difference between transcutaneous and total serum bilirubin measurement. From my study justification, this study addressed transcutaneous bilirubin meters have been developed as a non-invasive, quick and painless alternative for bilirubin measurement. This study specifically focused on evaluating the accuracy of two new TCB meters, that is JM105 and MBJ20, by comparing their reading with the traditional total serum bilirubin measurement in neonatal jaundice with jaundice. This study aims to evaluate the correlation between transcutaneous bilirubin and total serum bilirubin measurement to determine the accuracy and reliability of the TCB reading, which lead to unnecessary blood draws, stress, and hospital stay for neonates. Okay, methodology of my study. First, study location is from Klinik Kesihatan Ceras, and the sample size I took 139 units. And then the measurement process is transcutaneous bilirubin reading were taken using JM105 and MBJ20 by scanning the sternum. The blood sample were collected via heel prick for total serum bilirubin measurement, and serum was analyzed using a bilirubin analyzer, and statistical process was done under SPSS 26 measurement. This is the result and discussion. The total sample N is the study was 139. The TCB level range from JM105 is 282 with a mean of 207.84 plus minus 56.46 SD. For the TCB level range for MBJ20, 321 with the mean level of 144 with 41 plus minus 49.06 SD. The total serum bilirubin level range is 268 micromole per liter with the mean of 182.26 plus minus 51.36 SD micromole per liter. Okay, the second table is the Pearson correlation and coefficient between three variable TSB, TCB, PET measurement measured in micromole per liter. It shows a strong correlation between TCB with R equals to 0.80, indicate a strong positive correlation with statistically significant. Measurement of TCB JM105 and TCB MBJ20 with total serum bilirubin were observed at R equals to 0.81 and R equals to 0.70. This indicate a positive correlation between observed between TCB and total serum bilirubin. Since all the p-value are below 0.01, the correlation are significant at the 0.01 level with two tail, meaning there is a less than 1% probability of the correlation are to chance. Okay, table 3 shows multiple linearity regression analysis with TSP as the dependent variable and TCB JM105 and TCB MBJ20 as an independent variable. The under standard coefficient for the dependent variable is 27.46 with the standard error of 9.54, yield a t value of 2.86 and a significant level of p-value is 0.05 with corresponding of 95% of confidential interval range from 8.56 to 46.33. For TCB JM105, the understandard coefficient is 0.64 with the standard error of 0.07 and the standard coefficient beta is 0.71, indicating a strong positive influence on TSP. The t-value of 8.76 and significant level of p-value below than 0.01 confirm its statistical significance with a 95% of confidential interval between 0.05 and 0.79. For TCB MBJ20 shows a weaker positive relationship with total serum bilirubin having an unstandardized coefficient of 0.13 and a standard error of 0.08. Its standard coefficient beta is 0.13 with a t-value of 1.60 and significantly p-level is 0.110, indicating that not statistically significant. The 95% confidential interval for TSP-MBJ range from negative 0.03 to 0.30. This is the Spearman row correlation between TCB and TSP. Spearman row correlation coefficient between the three variables, all measured in micromole per liter. The analysis reveals strong positive correlation among these variables with a significant p-value of 0.01. For JM105 and MBJ20 is R equals to 0.79. And then the correlation between the TCB JM105 and TSP is R equals to 0.79. Together with correlation between TCB MBJ20 and TSP is R equals to 0.70. Each correlation was based on 139 pair observation. Overall, the result suggests a consistent and statistically significant positive relation among these bilirubin measurement via Spearman correlation. The figure 1 shows linearity variability between TSP and TCB sternum measurement using linear regression analysis. A positive linear relationship between the method was found with R equals to 0.67. This is the Blendman analysis where we evaluate the scatter plot of the difference between the average measurement obtaining from the TSP and TCB sternum measurement method. We found a strong consistency between the two methods. Figure 2 shows the belt element analysis between TSP and TCB JM105 on sternum measurement. And figure 3 shows Beltman analysis between TSP and TCB and BJ20 on sternum measurement. Okay. Result and discussion. Neonatal jaundice is a prevalent condition among newborns, often required accurate and timely diagnosis to prevent severe complications such as cranitis. This study aimed to compare the accuracy of two transcutaneous bilirubin meter, JM105 and MBJ20, with the traditional total serum bilirubin measurement in neonates. The result indicate that the JM105 device has a stronger correlation with TSP level compared to the MBJ20 device, making it more reliable tools for non-invasive bilirubin screening. Understanding the clinical utility of this device is vital in optimizing neonatal care and reduction in risk of bilirubin-induced neurological damage. From this study, there is no significant difference between transcutaneous and total serum bilirubin measurement, whereby JM105 had a stronger correlation with TSP level compared to the MBJ20 device with the Pearson correlation coefficient, multiple linear regression analysis, and Spearman row correlation coefficient between TSP and TCB JM was demonstrating a strong positive correlation. In contrast, the correlation between TSP and TCB MBJ20 was slightly weaker. Okay. In this study, there's a limitation and recommendation. It is important to acknowledge that this study had limitation as it was performed in a singular context with a very small sample size, and the new needs were restricted to a specific group inside one clinic. Further studies should include a wider array of race, skin tone, as this variable may affect the efficacy of transcutaneous bilirubinometer. Furthermore, the assessment of specificity and sensitivity is required. Moreover, additional research should be examined to the correlation between TCB and TSB in a small preterm infant, high-risk neonates, and those with medical condition, assessing the link between TCB and TSB before and after phototherapy may yield true comprehension of the efficacy of TCB device with the group. Conclusion of the study. This study conclude that JM105 transcutaneous bilirubin meter demonstrates superior accuracy and reliability compared to the MPJ20 when assessing neonatal jaundice. Its strong correlation with TSP level and non-invasive nature made it an effective tool for early jaundice detection and management. While the MPG20 offer a non-invasive alternative, its lower correlation with TSP necessitates cautious interpretation. This is my reference, and thank you.
Terima kasih diucapkan kepada saudari Suva atas penyampaian pembentangan yang sangat informatif sebentar tadi.
The session will now continue with the Q&A segment to both oral presenters. Okay, so we have our first question from Mr. Ganesan for Ms. Balkish. How did you ensure consistency in the cryopreservation and thawing process to minimize variability in your result?
Thank you, Ganesh, for the question. So basically, in my study, I can see that there's actually have two questions. First is to ensure the consistency in the cryopreservations, and the second one is the thawing process to minimize variability in your result. So basically, in my study, I have used Mr. Frosty. This is one of the tools that we use to increase the freezing, to increase the cold cells by 1 degree per minute before we transfer the non-vial to the storage. That is the first one. And secondly, I also use the fixed cryopedentance agent, which is in my study. I have used the 10% of DMSO uh, in this study. Even though I have used the different concentration of the FBS, but the fixed cryopedance like DMSO use to make sure that the consistency of the cryopreservations. And for the thawing process, so in this thawing process, I have mentioned before that the rapid thawing at the 37 degrees I've used to before we for the thawing process, where this we had put the non-vial in the water bath. Uh, Firstly, to put the non-vial in the water bath, which is to within the 1 to 2 minutes to minimize the ice crystal damage. And secondly, in the process of thawing, we use the fixed centrifugals to resuspend the cells, which is the fixed RPM, and also it means the speeding of the centrifugal. I hope I answered the question.
Terima kasih kepada kedua-dua pembentang lisan untuk sesi soal jawab sebentar tadi.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with this, we have come to an end of the 18th Undergraduate Colloquium on Health Sciences. We would like to extend our highest appreciation to everyone involved. Our heartfelt gratitude goes to the guest speaker for graciously sharing such valuable knowledge. We also thank the esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, for taking the time to attend the 18th UCHS. Lastly, our appreciation is extended to the sponsors, Genomax Technology Sdn Berhad and BP Healthcare Group, and also to all committee members for their dedication and significant contributions in making this event a success. We will carry with us the knowledge gained, the connections established, and the inspiration drawn from this program. Thank you to everyone for your support and commitment. Wishing you success in all your future endeavors. Until we meet again, thank you and best regards.
Para hadirin yang dihormati sekalian, dengan ini tamatlah sudah Majlis Undergraduate Colloquium on Health Sciences UCHS kali ke-18. Kami ingin merakamkan setinggi-tinggi penghargaan kepada semua yang terlibat. Ucapan terima kasih yang tidak terhingga ditujukan kepada penceramah jemputan atas kesudian berkongsi ilmu pengetahuan yang sangat bermanfaat. Terima kasih juga kepada para tetamu kehormat, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang telah meluangkan masa untuk menghadirkan diri. Seterusnya, penghargaan juga ditujukan kepada penaja-penaja iaitu Genomax Technology Sdn Berhad dan juga BP Healthcare Group, serta semua ahli jawatan kuasa yang telah memberikan dedikasi dan sumbangan besar dalam menjayakan majlis ini. Kami akan membawa bersama ilmu yang telah dipelajari, hubungan yang terbina serta inspirasi yang diperoleh melalui program ini. Terima kasih diucapkan kepada semua atas sokongan dan komitmen yang diberikan. Semoga berjaya dalam setiap langkah anda di masa hadapan. Hingga bertemu lagi. Terima kasih. Salam hormat dan Assalamualaikum.
Di sini keilmuan jadi budaya, kepakaran sendi kerjaya, ilmu dihayati sepanjang usia, amal jariah tunjang jasa, dipayungi langit tanpa sempada, bumi subur jaru esa, disinari surya alam Tuhan yang esa, dibuai bayu ilmu peradaban. UNICEF kala sinar bestari, pancaran ilmu serta amali, mengisi minda pengasuh budi, pelopor utama insan misali. Kau umpama pohon nan rimbu, tumbuh subur teguh beruntun, jati diri hidup berukun, tahan uji turun temurun. UNICEF kaulah sinar bestari, pancaran ilmu serta amali, pengisi minda pengasuh budi, pelopor utama insan misali.